Hello everyone, and today we are taking some questions and answering them. And that's
asked
something
for it.
Yeah, you asked for it, we're answering. Honestly, we get hundreds and hundreds of questions daily between Facebook and YouTube. And speaking of which, if you're following us on Facebook, please hit that follow button, or it might say like. Or if you're following us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and that way, in both cases, you'll see our videos. So if you're enjoying
It'll help us.
Yeah, it'll really help us. And if you're enjoying our content, go ahead and either hit that follow button or the subscribe, or both. So, all right.
That'd be helpful. Okay, ready for this?
I'm ready. Amy has the list. Oh, look at that! I didn't even recognize you. You're like Clark Kent.
I know, it's like when I put my hair down too.
Supergirl here. All right.
All right, what is your go-to for whiteflies? This
Yeah.
person couldn't get rid of them.
Yeah. So, well, first, and I'm assuming that they know, because sometimes people are just like, I have aphids, or I have this or that, and it's, they'll send a picture, and it's like, that's not even what you have. So, obviously, with whiteflies, if you ruffle and you have a bunch of those little white flies that are fluttering around, yeah, they're very hard to get rid of because they like to go underneath the foliage. So they're tough to get at. You're gonna have to hit them hard. They're hard to kill. So you're gonna have to use a good old insecticidal soap. I don't like the DIY, make some soapy water, and that just, to me, that's just silly. That you think that you're gonna kill them with some soapy water. You just have clean bugs now. So actually,
Where do whiteflies come from?
Well, a plant, like another plant that can be infested. Remember, all these are naturally outdoors. So, those aphids, the thrips, the whitefly, they're naturally out there. Of course, you have predator bugs that will eat them, but sometimes our flowers, they go right after them because they're pretty and they look pretty delicious to them. So, you have to get an insecticidal soap and really douse. Try to do it maybe at night, because our pollinators are coming in and feeding all day long. So if you're gonna do that, try to be responsible about it and maybe do it at night when those pollinators aren't around. But especially with like whitefly, you need to spray, or aphids, you need to get underneath that foliage and spray up also, and really kind of soak all underneath.
Typically, you're seeing whitefly when people bring it into a house.
Yeah.
You don't typically see that
Outside, yeah.
Normally the other bugs take care of that.
House plants.
But the house plants, when you bring them in, and that's going to be another question.
Poinsettias in the Christmas time, you'll see whiteflies. Whiteflies love poinsettias, but yeah. So anyway.
All right, what do you do when you're going to be gone for 3 days and it's going to be in the 90s, which is what we have this week?
Right. So and people are going on vacation. Yeah,
yes.
they're like, I'm headed up to the cabin.
Yes.
And so.
We talked about this like last week, I think, a little bit. But again, let's reiterate. What do you do?
So best case scenario, if you have a competent person, a neighbor, friend, relative that can water your flowers while you're away, that's probably the best, so that you know that they're getting. Don't ask your son, because your kids will be like 30 seconds before you roll in the driveway, they're gonna.
Your mom asks you.
And I do a fantastic job of taking care of her flowers and the cat. But if you have a teenage son, don't ask him. So the best case is finding someone, and you might have to pay them. But it's better than losing hundreds or thousands of dollars of flowers.
Okay, let's say that that's not happening.
So if you can take like a hanging basket or containers and put them into a garage, that does work. That's better than just leaving them outside. Like, I'm just gonna water them real heavy and hope that when I come back from my camping trip that they're gonna be okay. I would not risk that. I would put them into a garage where maybe it's a little bit cooler.
Out of that hot sun.
Yeah, out of that, or under a shade tree or something. But even that, the wind or real low humidity or something can get to them. They're better put them in a garage for that temporary, and I'm gonna say up to 3 days maximum. This is not like I'm going for a week's vacation. That's not gonna work. But up to maybe 3 days, a weekend, water them, put them in the garage, and they just kind of go dormant for that short period of time. You can get away with that.
So a lot of people will say, well, I don't know what the difference is. There's plants outside all the time. How do these different than plants being outside all the time that,
in the ground,
Right.
they have a source of moisture.
And also the ones you plant in the ground, the root system isn't that deep. Where like a perennial or a tree or a shrub, that root system is a lot deeper. So if it's dry, it's going to take up a lot of that moisture from the beginning.
Yeah, so again.
Will a sprinkler do it?
There's people that they'll set up a sprinkler, and that'll certainly help. I'm not a big fan of that, but if that works,
it's something.
Yeah. Others have said, I went on Amazon and got a solar-powered watering system. Hey, if that works for you, great.
We just haven't tried that.
I just would hey Betty, here's $20. Can you water my flowers for a week or whatever it is? And that's what we do. We have to pay somebody to water our flowers.
Yep.
When we're gone.
Yep. Do you fertilize at the base of the plant? So I think what they're talking about is, how a hose and sprayer, or because typically you're not going to be like this with a watering can. You typically get down lower because that's going to shut off a lot. But with a hose and sprayer, or even the hose itself, should they spray everything, or should they just get in by the bottom when they're fertilizing?
So best case is try to get in towards that soil. We're watering and fertilizing the soil. And if you can maybe move that foliage away a little bit and get directly down in the soil, that's best case. Does it hurt if I get fertilizer on the plant foliage itself? No. Now there are plants that will show like spotting, and it's just like, if you have hard water, the calcium or the fertilizer might show some spots on certain leaves. We found that, and it's just unsightly. It doesn't hurt anything, and in fact, many plants can actually absorb the nutrients from the leaves. But best case is getting it down towards the soil. Again, in the greenhouses, I'm not that careful when I'm fertilizing 500,000 plants. I'm just going through, and for the next 5 hours, what I'm doing. But I'm not being that careful. But best case, try to get it down towards the soil.
All right. My indoor plants are not doing so good outside. Because everyone's like, oh, I'm going to take my indoor plants and put them outside, and it's going to have like a tropical feel out there.
Yeah, yes.
Can I just bring them back in, or is there something I have to do?
Well,
I know this answer.
Well, you want to take it?
The bugs love the soil. They love the fresh soil. They're like, ooh, something fun to lay my eggs in.
Right, yes. Yeah.
And that's where, if they're not doing well outside, what they're doing is they're kind of going through a little bit of a shock. So indoor plants I kind of have more experience with because of the floral shop.
Yeah.
And what you find is every time you move them, and whether that's from a really sunny window to somewhere shady to maybe outside, every time you move them, they have to get reacclimated to that area. And they kind of go through a little shock of it, of like,
adjustment period.
I'm not sure if I like this. Let me see how this environment is.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly moving those indoor plants, you're going to find that they don't have as much growth. They're going to slow down. They're going to maybe look a little sluggish. But the main thing is if you're bringing them from outside to inside, you need to, at least 2 weeks in advance, give them a systemic insecticide to kill off any bugs in that soil, because I know we don't want to hurt the pollinators. But when you bring those plants back into your house, do you want to have all of the bugs hatch their eggs back in your house?
Yeah.
And infect the rest of your plants.
Yeah, build quickly.
And then you're going to have to use a lot more of the insecticide than what you would originally have had to use just to treat before you brought it inside.
Yeah, so they take some acclimation.
They do.
And then prevention is good. I've even had moving hanging baskets from our back greenhouses into, say, up here into this greenhouse where it's a little bit cooler. And just that acclimation from a hotter environment into a cooler environment, they're like this for the day. There's nothing wrong with them. The water, there's nothing wrong. It's just the acclimation. So
And that's where
plants will fuss.
we talk a lot on tomato plants or vegetables or even the baskets,
Yeah.
we start acclimating them from greenhouse living to outdoor living by lowering those temps in the
Yes.
spring of the year.
Yeah.
And then that holds true for even the smallest things, like from inside the house to outside.
Yep. Yep.
Good, I'm glad you answered that.
Yes.
What do you consider a lower dose of fertilizer, and can you give an exact measurement?
Precisely, exactly. Okay, no, so I think what they're talking about is...
There's a lot of people who are they're nervous about under fertilizing or over fertilizing,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're very analytic. They just want an amount.
Yes, okay. So what I think the question is, I talk a lot about going to a constant feed fertilizing for the summer. That's what we do for all of our outside plants is I'm watering my hanging baskets, and we have a fertilizer injector, so it's a little bit easier, but I'm putting everything on a constant feed. And what I define a constant feed is a lower dose of the fertilizer, but every time I'm watering, which has been daily, they're getting fed. So lower dose I'm going to define as 1/3 to 1/2 of that normal full strength dose.
So if it's a half a teaspoon per gallon, you're going to be at 1/4 teaspoon, or maybe somewhere in
2
between
gallons.
1/4 and
Same.
1/8.
Yeah, somewhere. So, or with like the hose end sprayer, and we have several videos. You know, again, you can utilize our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of videos, and there's I think there's like a half dozen videos just on using the hose end sprayer. So if you've been considering that, and you're not sure how to do that, we have the videos on how to do that. But like the hose end sprayer, how many scoops? And I'll say about 1/3 of the jar. And they're like, well, what is that? Okay, well, a jar makes almost 100 gallons. So if we're gonna go to a 1/3, take 30 scoops or 33 and 1/3 scoops if you want to be precisely. You don't have to be precise. We're just getting you in that ballpark. Don't overthink it. So take 33 scoops and put it into the hose end sprayer and mix that up with water. So going back to the constant feed fertilizing, we're defining that as a 1/3 to 1/2 strength. So, okay, if it's, again, like you said, if you take the scoop for a half teaspoon per gallon, do it half teaspoon for 2 gallons or 3 gallons to make 1/3 of the...
There you go. That's probably easier
Yeah.
than trying to scoop out a little
I
tiny
know,
bit.
it's really, because our beat your neighbor fertilizer is really concentrated, so I think some people are really scared with that, but we're going under, so don't worry about overdoing it. Just don't get caught up with the have to be an exact measurement. The plants don't care about it exact. We're just trying to get you in that ballpark.
That holds true too with the watering. Everyone is, give me exactly how much should I water it? Should I give it a quart? Should I give it a gallon? Like, what should I give this plant? And
Can't work. Doesn't work that way.
It's variable because of all of the different things going on.
That's a one size fits all, and that's not the weather pattern that most of us have.
Right. So good questions. Really good questions. A lot of the questions that you have are already answered, like you said, on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Sharkey's Greenhouse. Go ahead, go on there, hit the subscribe button, go and watch all of the videos.
Yes, like put it on like Netflix at night, and there's literally hundreds. There's playlists. There's a lot more than just the plant here. Amy's got a lot of cooking videos, cooking and baking. So if you're looking for those easy recipes, there's a lot of info there. So use that as your resource.
Right.
And I like to tell people that the easiest way, if you're looking for a specific topic from us, go to our Sharkey's Greenhouse's YouTube channel. There's a search engine. There's a search bar, and type in dahlias, Sharkeys, and just hit that as your search term, and it's going to pull up all the videos that we have on dahlia care or petunias or whatever that topic is, and then put Sharkeys behind it, and it's going to bring all those videos up.
And if you're wondering, when we're talking about the fertilizer, what fertilizer do I use? Because we're giving you recommendations on the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer.
Yep.
That does not apply to any other fertilizer. I cannot speak for any other fertilizer.
Right.
But if you're looking for the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer, you can go on the Sharkey, I'm sorry, not the Sharkeys, on the beatyourneighbor.com, and you can look under locator, retailer locator, and you can see who's selling it around you. And if there's nobody selling it around you, then you can order it right online. We can ship to 48 states.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
With that,
great questions. Thanks.
have a great day.
Yep. Bye-bye.